The 2003 AMA Supercross season opener at Edison International Field in Anaheim was anything but routine. At a midweek press conference, 7-time Supercross champion Jeremy McGrath announced his retirement.
It's been great.
He was honored in the opening ceremony, and it was a fitting place, as his first victory in 1993 and his last in 2001 both came in front of sold-out Anaheim crowd. In the main event, Mike Brown took the whole shot, only to be passed by Australian Chad Reed. A few laps later, LaRocco crashed, creating a chain reaction that claimed Pastrana, Byrne, and Tedesco. Ricky Carmichael had some problems of his own, but incredibly moved from last place to second. However, it was Chad Reed's night and his second consecutive win of the season. Now, the series has made its way to Phoenix, Arizona, and to Bank One Ballpark for the fourth stop of the THQ World Supercross GP. Welcome to Phoenix, Arizona, and the Valley of the Sun for the THQ World Supercross GP. This is the AMA Supercross Series. And hello once again, everyone. I'm Todd Harris, along with former champion David Bailey, and what a week it has been in the world of Supercross. And if practice has been any indication of what we'll see tonight, what a race, leading off with Chad Reed. The kid has a ton of momentum.
Well, he's full of confidence right now. He went right after Ricky Carmichael in the practice sessions yesterday and today, and those guys were really duking it out. Fast lap time. Reed got the edge, so he's just boiling with confidence right now after his win in Holland and his win at Anaheim. But Ricky Carmichael has got something to say about that. He's done well here in this stadium in the past. He started his comeback here last year. He's won here 2 years in a row, and he's got to stop Reed's momentum now.
Well, Ricky Carmichael had some problems in Anaheim, very uncharacteristic of him. As we look at the AMA standings, it's Chad Reed out in front, followed by Ricky Carmichael, Timmy Ferry, and then David Vuillemin. Let's speak of David Vuillemin. He came off with such high hopes after a stop in Europe. In Anaheim, he just didn't ride like himself.
No, and it kind of started with the heat race. He was leading it, decided with Chad Reed gaining on him a little bit to lay up and sort of study Chad, and he just made it too easy for Reed. And then the main event was weird. The first 4 or 5 laps was people going down everywhere. Vuillemin was actually in last place at one point, so on a terrible night to come back to fourth, he knows he can improve on that.
Let's talk about the FIM standings right now. It's Chad Reed out in front. It's all Yamaha for that sake. Vuillemin in second. Then we've got Timmy Ferry in third and Sebastien Tortelli in fourth. Right now, for more on the course, the track, and the whole vibe taking place here at Bank One Ballpark, let's check in with a third member of our broadcast team, Cameron Steele.
Well, you want 250 Supercross? I got 250 Supercross for you. And what else do I have? A bunch of rabid fans here in Arizona. They know Supercross, and they love it. The track is set up pretty crazy. Lots of different technical sections. Triples, doubles, different sections back and forth. I don't know if they really care about the technical aspects of it. All they want to hear is dirt bikes going off. And like I said before, I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it with these guys going nuts all night.
It's now time for the THQ track map.
A giant start here at Phoenix, a 100-yard dash to a wide first corner that looks more like an outdoor race. And the first straightaway is tough. A lot of different combinations through the rhythm section. The next left by home plate, a step on, step off, into the big triple. Another rhythm section. It's got these riders really puzzled as they make a right, head into another huge triple. And then it gets tough. 2 whoop sections, under the tunnel jump, into another triple, a right-hander, and on to the finish.
We're now set for 250 heat number 1. Let's take a look at the Nissan starting grid. Ricky Carmichael's there, as is Tim Ferry, Ernesto Fonseca, Ryan Clark, Stephane Roncada. Good to see Grant Langston in there, 111 on the KTM, and Travis Pastrana. Despite rumors of injuries and naggy knee problems, Travis is out there ready to ride, and I'm sure he's going to give us a great show.
Well, if there's anybody that can ride great while injured, it's Travis Pastrana. Great look at Chad Voss, Ricky Carmichael's mechanic. He seems pretty relaxed right there. Needs to be a little bit more keyed up than that. 30-second car's up. This is Travis, always playing to the camera. You never know what's going on in that kid's head. All I can say about him is he is fast.
And Ryan Clark will give us our onboard look. The card is up and we are ready to race. A great pull by the entire field. Ricky Carmichael's up there, but he closed the deal. And it's Travis Pastrana getting the whole shot. Ricky Carmichael with the inside line as we go on board with Ryan Clark.
Oh, hold on to yourself. This is going to get good. After what happened last week, look at this. Ryan Clark giving us a great angle. Fonseca trying for the block pass right there. Maybe being a little bit too nice. He needed to get that done to stay in contact with the 2 leaders. They're checking out?
Well, everyone knew that Travis Pastrana was fast. They just didn't know how healthy he is after that horrific crash last week with LaRocco. And look at this, Travis Pastrana just pulling through that work section, but right behind him, Ricky Carmichael.
Well, this time I wonder how Ricky will attempt to pass. Because last week it wasn't dirty, but Travis went down when they got together a little bit, and I think everyone's heard about how that turned out by now. And he's got the same thing going on again. He's got to get around this kid. Travis is not easy to pass, but his rhythm through this section isn't the fastest one, I don't think. I think Ricky's figuring that out, so he'll make a note of that.
If you're coaching Ricky Carmichael right now, knowing how intimidating he is, you tell him to sit on the back of the front end, force him into making a mistake, or does he do what he did last week and just push the issue, maybe getting the fans' ire out?
You know what? The heck with the fans right now. I'm not saying that, but from Carmichael's standpoint, you know, just do what you have to do to win the race. Let the fans do what they do. It doesn't really matter. It's nice to have them cheer for you rather than boo, but probably needs to bump more than they bumped last week. That wasn't anything like what it used to be in the 80s. It was just, I think people were just bummed that the race that they were having was over with.
Travis Pastrana, your leader out of Davidsonville, Maryland, on board the Suzuki, and look at Ricky Carmichael. Look at the speed.
Wow, Travis going all the way wide. That's confidence right there to just be able to leave the door that far open. And he's going so fast to that first corner that he opens up a gap, even though that rhythm down the next straightaway might not be the fastest one, it's the one he's comfortable with. And he builds a gap going in that Ricky can't close.
And it looks like, from my perspective, that Ricky is just searching for a line that's going to work, maybe later on in the main, whatever it's going to be. But Ricky is just searching and playing this course right now, and he is right there waiting for Travis to let the door open just a little bit. Ricky Carmichael, number 4, sitting in second place on board the Honda. Travis Pastrana, your leader, in this heat number 1 of the 250cc class.
Unbelievable to think that Thursday, Travis went out. That was his first opportunity to ride after last weekend. And he goes to the outside again. And, hey, he knew Ricky was too close. He couldn't afford to leave that door open. But Thursday, when Travis rode, he was in so much pain, he was screaming.
Look at this.
Well, this kid, last year here, popped his knee out of place in practice. They put it back in, rode in incredible pain, won his heat, got second in the main. It was Carmichael that he chased the whole way, and Ricky's just learning right now. I know he wants to win this race. There's still time, a couple laps to go. You're going to see something here. It is not over. Here it comes.
Well, at the halfway point, Ricky Carmichael gets to the outside, cannot close the door. Back comes Travis Pastrana. What an amazing tournament event.
Travis knew it, too. He could feel Ricky on his inside, laid up, and made sure he got a good run at the whoop section.
Oh, look at that. And this time, Ricky's able to take that inside line. Travis left it open a little too long. Let's go back and look at it one more time.
He checks him out. He's going, okay, go ahead. He makes a quick pivot. He's able to get a good run at the whoops where Ricky just didn't get set up right. I wouldn't be surprised to see Travis put another pass on him before this is over.
Well, Travis Pastrana goes 6'2", 180 pounds. He is awesome through the whoops, where Ricky Carmichael, 5'6", tenacious as all get out, who is your current leader right now. This is a great matchup. Remember, 20 riders, 8 laps, the top 4 to the main, 5th through 20 to semi-1. Now we'll step aside, take a quick break. When we come back, the conclusion of heat number 1 from Phoenix, Arizona. The THQ World Supercross GP is being brought to you by Suzuki, maker of innovative motorcycles and all-terrain vehicles. By THQ's MX Superfly, featuring Ricky Carmichael, now available on the PlayStation 2, Xbox, and GameCube. And by Honda, the company that defines performance in motorcycles, ATVs, personal watercraft, and scooters. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona, Bank One Ballpark. This is the Supercross Series. Your current leader right now, Ricky Carmichael, leads heat number 1. Travis Pastrana currently sits in second place, and Ricky Carmichael goes down. Pastrana goes down over him, and Pastrana goes down.
I was just about to say, Todd, that while we're putting so much focus on Ricky and Travis as they get going, there they are together again. Fonseca was hanging with that. He was able to scoop up the leftovers right there. Great confidence booster for him, staying close enough to take advantage and maybe pick up this heat win.
So Ernesto Fonseca out of Canyon Lake, California, on board the Yamaha, Honda, inherits the lead here with 2 laps to go. 2 laps to go in heat number 1. Top 4 go to the main, and right now, he's got his bump, so Roncada stops, and there's Grant Langston, 111, to pick up the pieces on board his KTM, and right behind him, 15, Tim Ferry. So what a jumble of standings, David.
Unbelievable that Fonseca that was on a silver platter. He goes into a corner and stalls it, and just so nonchalantly tries to start the bike. Now coming into the corner, the left-hander at the end of this rhythm section, yesterday Langston went to the inside, and Michael Byrne, Ferry just went down just behind that. Michael Byrne landed right on Langston's sore shoulder. Langston stayed down for a while. He seemed in a lot of pain. It was an accident. Byrne apologized, but it's just amazing the kind of a hit that Langston could take and still go out and ride like this and win a heat.
Grant Langston, originally from South Africa, now living in Lake Elsinore, California, on the KTM, Red Bull KTM Racing. Talk about being in the right place at the right time.
And you know what we got? 2 laps to go. Carmichael's back into second. He's got something for Langston in just a little bit of time. It'd be amazing if he could make that mistake, get back up. Here's the white flag, and still win this race.
So Grant Langston has 1 lap to hold off Ricky Carmichael to pick up the heat number 1 win here in the 250. The question is, can he do it? And how is Ricky Carmichael's psyche? This is what, his 3rd drop in 2 events. Anaheim last week, he went down twice in the main. Having some problems there, David. What do you think the issue is?
He's pushing really hard. You know, the pace is a little bit different this year. There's a lot of guys that can attack him. And he's a bit against the ropes right now and maybe trying a little too hard. And this is difficult dirt to read. It looks great, but then it's actually kind of hard-packed and slippery in spots.
Certainly not as tacky as we had last week in Anaheim, but right now the question is, can the South African on board the KTM, Grant Langston, hold off the defending champion in Ricky Carmichael on the Honda as they get a great run to the whoops here? It looks like Langston might do it.
He's got to protect this inside.
Grant Langston picks up heat number 1 victory with Ricky Carmichael in tow. What an amazing race for Langston. He was sitting back in 6th place. Fonseca inherited the lead. Not the case. Grant Langston, your winner.
And Ricky's shaking his head. He hates to lose. Can't stand it.
Well, let's take a look at the action one more time and see if we can figure out what went wrong.
Coming into this left, this is where home plate would be when they're playing baseball. Loses that front end right there. He just wasn't high enough up in the berm. Travis runs over the bike, loses his balance. He's got to be kicking himself, as is Fonseca. They had it. This is Fonseca's problem. Goes into the corner, gets ready to do the triple, and stalls it. That one's got me puzzled because he's going fast enough right there. Unless he was in 3rd gear or something, right, to get ready for that triple. Can't believe he'd stall it right there of all places.
Unbelievable finish, but Grant Langston is your winner as we look at the Honda Heat 1 official results. Langston, Carmichael, Fonseca, and Pastrana all moving on to the main event. Right now, let's send it down to Cameron Steele.
Moto number 1 winner, Grant Langston, up here on the podium. Grant, you had a podium in Europe. This is your first win on the 250. You've got to be really stoked about it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, as much as it's just a heat race, it's still a win. You know, it's great for my confidence. You know, it's been a bit of an up and down ride on the 250 so far. Some good results, but some crashes. So, you know, we're working things out. Things seem to be getting better.
That's kind of a strange heat race. It looked like there were some gremlins out there. Did you see any carnage along the way to the win?
Yeah, I saw Travis and Ricky go down. That was about it. And the rest was just, I made some passes, but it worked out good for me.
Great job, Grant. We'll see you in the main.
Thanks a lot.
Once the gate drops, the rider is on his own. There's no more time for preparation, but there is one lifeline remaining, the pit board.
That's the stuff I like to see in a pit board. It's the fun stuff, stuff to make you laugh, stuff to get your mind, if you will, not off the race, but off of the, you know, the arm pump and everything else that you're going through.
Travis isn't too serious about the pit board, actually.
The only way we can talk to the rider, communicate with the rider once the race starts is with the pit board.
Pit board's a big thing because, you know, the race is 15 laps, and when you get out there by yourself in the lead, you know, your mind starts to wander.
Some riders never look at it, but Mike, from what I've worked with him, he looks at it every lap.
It's important
I think more if you're leading, so you know if your pace is good enough or somebody's catching you. You need to know what's going on.
Seems like when you're in the, the heat of the moment and you're racing, I didn't look at it. I know where everyone's at. For me, the biggest importance of the pit board is the information of, what place you're in and how much time's left in the race.
It sucks when you see, like, +3 and next lap you come with +2 and you kind of get freaked out. So it helps sometimes and it messes you up sometimes.
Kind of like a mental guide, I guess. He just kind of helps you through it.
We're now set for heat number 2 as we take a look at our THQ starting grid. As David would say, hold on to your seat on this one. We've got Chad Reed, David Vuillemin, teammates, but certainly both battling for that first place position. I like Sebastien Tortelli on the possible hole shot. You've got guys like Ezra Lusk, Heath Voss, Ivan Tedesco, Steve Boniface. The list goes on, and then you've got Mike LaRocco. He's got an enormous bruise on his posterior because of the collision he had last week with Travis Pastrana.
Sideways. Good one for Lusk.
Ezra Lusk getting pinched off there at the last possible moment. And bringing him down the front way, it's number 90, Marco Dubé, who gets the whole shot but loses it right away to Ezra Lusk, number 11. So it's Ezra Lusk who will lead them around the green lap out of Bainbridge, Georgia, on board the Kawasaki.
Michael Byrne making a mistake at the approach of the triple, couldn't do it, got shuffled back a couple spots. Ezra right away yesterday established himself as I'm going to be a tough contender here. Last week was a mess. He's here to turn it around, but it's going to be tough to do with the pressure of Reed. He's starting to feel.
Speaking of which, right behind him is Chad Reed. 20 years old out of Newcastle, Australia. The Thunder from down under. Chad Reed sits in second on board the Yamaha. Ezra Lusk on the Kawasaki, number 11, is your leader. As they go through, Brown sits in third. David Vuillemin right now sitting in fourth. But Marco Dubé got the whole shot. He's already slid back to fifth.
That powerful 450 Honda four-stroke on this long start. As long as you get out over the gate, get a smooth clutch delivery in that first 10, 15 feet. Here comes the block pass, maybe. Nope. Lusk knew it. Those four-strokes have an advantage on this long start, but Dubé can't quite handle this pace. He's getting shuffled back pretty quick.
Ezra Lusk choosing a very precarious line, as he knows Chad Reed is right behind him. And Reed, we've documented it many times, David, not the guy you talk about when you think of patience.
No, but he's very smart. It didn't look like he had any patience when you watched that first round of this series in Geneva, getting together with Tortelli. Could have waited a turn and passed him down the next straightaway, but he's a little bit kind of a mixture. I like to say it's a mixture of McGrath because of his style is so similar to Jeremy, and the intensity of Carmichael.
20 riders, 8 laps. The top 4 go to the main. 5th through 20th have to go to semifinal number 2 to get their way to the main. And what a great race we've got going here. We'll step aside when we come back to Phoenix, Arizona. More of the THQ World Supercross GP right after this. Welcome back to Bank One Ballpark. This is the THQ World Supercross GP. With just 2 laps to go, it is Ezra Lusk, number 11, on board the green Kawasaki, being trailed closely by Chad Reed, number 22, on board the Yamaha out of Newcastle, Australia. And Chad Reed has printed some fast times moments ago. He had a 51 lap time. Both of them now registering 52.3 and 52.6 respectively for Lusk and Reed. David Vuillemin currently sitting in third, and Sebastien Tortelli in fourth, and here comes the run.
Pressure, that's what caused that. Ezra just a slight bobble, and Reed was all over. Now, be interested to see what Lusk can do. He's got a little bit of time to study him and make a last-ditch effort.
Well, Chad Reed has been racing since he was 4 years old, and you can see the payoff of all that long work and effort. If we look at the replay one more time of the pass, David, you talked about it as the white flag comes out. Chad Reed just applied the pressure.
Off the triple down into the inside, Ezra just made a knife right there, kind of stabbed the front end up into that berm. That's all it took, but he's back on him again.
Ezra trying to find a way on this final lap here in heat number 2 of the 250cc. It is Chad Reed, your leader right now. 8 laps, almost all complete. Remember, the top 4 will go to the main. Ezra Lusk in second place right now. Chad Reed in first.
These guys are mauling. And in the whoop section, look for Lusk, rather. He's jumping in and jumping out. He's got to run at him.
black traffic there on the inside line. Oh, look at this! Ezra Lusk with a beautiful block pass on Chad Reed.
That's what it's going to take. Reed would have done the same thing. Good for Ezra. Great ride. He needed that after last week having to go all the way to the last chance qualifier. Not such a good ride in the main event. This makes up for it.
So Ezra Lusk, with just about 80 yards to go, gets the job done on Chad Reed, and that's going to do wonders for his confidence. Well, let's take a look at our Suzuki Heat 2 official results. It's Ezra Lusk with the victory on board his Kawasaki, followed by Chad Reed, David Vuillemin, and Sebastien Tortelli, your top four. Right now, let's send it down to Cameron Steele.
Motor number 2 winner, Ezra Lusk, has 2 championships for the 125s. He ripped off 5 wins in the 99 250 season. Ezra, that looks like the Yogi of old right there. Championship form.
Yeah, you know, it's old Yogi, but 2003, it's got to be the new Yogi right now. And the guys that are coming in, they're hardcore, you know, they're not afraid to bump and grind with you a little bit. And I got to do it, too. I came into the sport doing it. I guess I mellowed out in my age, but I got to get back to it.
An aggressive Ezra looks very solid out there. Last week, he had to come to the main through the last chance qualifier. I guess this is completely opposite of that.
Yeah, I guess you could say a complete opposite turnaround, but I was prepared last week coming into the race, but things happened. I just got a little uncomfortable. I don't know where it happened, but I came here this weekend ready to fight and ready to win.
All right, well, let's see how it works out in the main.
Thanks a lot, Kawasaki, my beautiful wife at home. Thor racewear into our helmets, band, shoes for all the help.
All right, thank you, Cameron. Right now, it's time for the Thor Rider of the Week.
You know, I've had some great races, some tough races, and hit the ground a few times. I feel like I put in a lot of hard work. Just another race this weekend. I'm really excited to be here at Phoenix, and glad that the first race is over with. The heat race was, you know, just kind of stupid, actually. You know, me and Pastrana had a run-in, and made me look bad.
And there you go! And Carmichael and Pastrana get together. Pastrana's down, Carmichael gone.
And the boos come back.
You know, I was just out there racing. I wasn't out there to do anything wrong to anyone, and someone would have done the same thing to me. You know, I crashed twice. I came from dead last 2 times. I felt that I rode good. You know, I didn't never think I would be able to come back to second place. There's guys going everywhere, riding all anxious and not really thinking. And, you know, I subjected myself to that stuff. I got a bad start, and when you get bad starts, you can get in that kind of mess. You know, Chad's riding great, and, you know, he had the perfect scenario last week. He got a good start, and all the top guys were in the smoking section. So, you know, it was something that a race that, you know, you dream about, just out there, you know, cruising around after 4 or 5 laps. I don't think the rest will be that easy, really. So, you know, you can't really judge on last weekend because no one ever got to race with him in the main event. I'm not worried. I'm just worried about myself. And I think last weekend that's what prevented me from winning. It was myself. And, you know, I learned a lot last weekend and try to take advantage of what I did wrong last week. Just ready to go this weekend, try to redeem myself. I mean, I don't have nothing to prove to no one. You know, I've won plenty of races, plenty of titles, but you know how this sport is. You're only as good as your last race.
Time now for our Honda flashback. After a crash in the opening round of the 2002 Supercross Series, last year's round 4 at Bank One Ballpark saw a return to form for Ricky Carmichael. The victory was his first AMA win aboard the Honda, and it gave him a needed boost in points as he pursued his second Supercross title. Next week, we return to Edison International Field of Anaheim for round number 5 of the THQ World Supercross GP and the third event on the AMA Supercross Tour. The 250 main event is coming up next.
On ESPN2.
Bank One Ballpark as we take a look at our qualifying highlights. In 250 semi number 1, it was a battle to the front, and number 15 on the Yamaha, Tim Ferry, was the man for the job. Ferry led a very tough group through very long and grueling laps, but in the end, he would pick up the victory and a transfer position into the main. In semi number 2, after a great start, it was Michael Byrd who ran away from Mike LaRocco. Byrd out of Australia on board the Honda did just enough to outduel number 5, The Rock, Mike LaRocco, who would have to settle for 3rd, but also would secure a transfer spot to the final. And in your Nissan qualifying results in the LCQ, a very tough start, but in the end, Keith Johnson out of Albuquerque, New Mexico was your victor. He would hold off Steve Boniface, who would also transfer, and unfortunately for Casey Lytle, his consolation prize was the Racer X gas card. It's now time for the 250 main event as we take a look at our Suzuki main event starting grid. I'll tell you what, it's the who's who in Supercross racing. Guys like Ezra Lusk, Grant Langston, both winners earlier. Chad Reed's there, Ricky Carmichael, David Vuillemin, Ernesto Fonseca, Sebastien Tortelli, Travis Pastrana, Tim Ferry, Michael Burns, Stephane Roncada, Ivan Tedesco, just to name a few. Let's check in with Cameron Steele.
Well, guys, I'm down here on the course. I'm going to give you some info, something a little different. A lot of times we talk about the rut. Sometimes we talk about technical sections. This time, we're talking about corners. You know what? On Supercross tracks, sometimes there's a lot of 180s. A U-turn. On this track, there's tons of 90s or more open corners. I was talking to the legend, Mark Burnett, the bomber, and he said, with those open lines, it leaves room to come in and block pass. You want to carry your speed on the outside to go through obstacles. That's great, but you're opening up the door. Check this out. Most Supercross lanes are 8 feet wide or so. This thing looks like it's 20 feet wide. The key here is going to be, can you carry your speed to the corner without getting checked? And who's doing the checking? That's what it's going to take to win. Got to cover it up or take advantage of it.
And thank you, Cameron. The 250 main is off, and here we go at Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona, as we take a look who's going to pick up the SXGP.com hole shot. And Chad Reed.
It was close. Ezra was right there.
Look at this.
All the players are there. Lusk, Carmichael, Reed, Vuillemin up there, Pastrana. Oh, Pastrana almost goes down.
Pastrana almost hooked up with Tim Ferry, but he avoids it. Chad Reed is your leader. Ezra Lusk right behind him. And in the 3rd place position is Ricky Carmichael. Now remember, Ezra Lusk just pinned Chad Reed on the last turn to win that first heat. So that will be something we'll certainly keep our eyes on. Ricky Carmichael to be in 3rd, somewhere he does not like to be. Right behind him is 4th is Ernesto Fonseca.
Now Reed and Lusk, they've already gone through it. They're very familiar with each other and what's going on out there. If anything, Chad Reed maybe feeling like he owes Ezra one, which in this case would mean just pull away. But if Ezra's able to get around, I don't think Reed's going to let him off the hook. He's going to come back in and make some contact. I would be surprised if he didn't. Ricky trying to hang with these guys. Fonseca at the tail end of that group, and they're pulling away just a little bit from Vuillemin and Ferry. Vuillemin just getting around Ferry, so now maybe he can get back up to that lead group.
This is the 250 main event. Your leader, Chad Reed, 20 riders, 20 laps, and it's for the title here at Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona.
Unbelievable Reed. This was the race last year where he decided to lay out and get ready for the 125 East. He had ridden some 250 races just to get his feet wet in this class. Elected not to ride this one. This is his first visit racing in this stadium. In the lead and in control right now, just like Anaheim. The difference is Ezra, who was running around near last, Carmichael, who was in last, Vuillemin back there in 5th, he was also in last. Reed's got company this time. If he wins this one, well earned, and there'll be no question that he's the man to beat right now. It's unbelievable that this early in the season he's established himself as the man and not Ricky Carmichael.
Well, what's amazing, he said to us in the interview last week after the event, he said, you know what, let's win a race with Ricky staying upright, and he's gotten exactly what he wished for. Ezra Lusk, though, is doing a great job just hanging right to the back of Reed's tail. We saw this Anaheim last week, and Reed's gone 3 laps into it.
go. Fonseca and Vuillemin starting to fall back. Actually, Vuillemin's not. He's closing the gap on Fonseca, who's losing touch with these guys.
And just to make mention, back in the field, Grant Langston has gone down 111 on the KTM. Looks like it should be all right. We'll catch up to that. But it is Chad Reed, Ezra Lusk, and Ricky Carmichael right now. Ricky having a few problems. He goes through that berm right there. Looks like he picked up his back line.
Well, he couldn't go wide because he's got Carmichael back there. So now he's got to consider what he does to... There's Langston. This is the corner where he went down. He just got going. That's what the flag was for. Reed looking just kind of a sneak peek under his elbow to see where are these guys. They got to run at me. Nope, they don't. So he could go wide, get a run at the whoops.
The only three guys logging sub-52 lap times. Ricky Carmichael is getting all over the back of Ezra Lusk. Let's go down to Cameron Steele.
Well, guys, I'm down here with Randy Lawrence, Ezra Lusk Mechanics. Randy, a new fire in Ezra. Where did this come from?
Well, actually, this is what we expected to see at Anaheim last week. He's been training really hard. He likes the bike a lot this year. And last week, we really don't know what happened. He just wasn't there. And we came here, fired up, made a couple small changes with the bike, and this is the Yogi that we've been looking for.
He's sandwiched between a couple guys that have been doing a lot of winning as of late. You think it can carry him to the front?
Yeah, well, he came out this week and started riding with those guys and put himself in the position where he should be.
Thanks, Randy.
Thank you.
And thank you, Cameron. And Ezra Lusk doing such a fantastic job. Young man out of Georgia, number 11 on the Kawasaki, just hanging right behind Reed. Ricky Carmichael has yet to find the winning line yet, but he is tenacious. You know he's going to stay right with it, but Ezra Lusk is doing a great job, just hanging so tough with Chad Reed.
This reminds me a little bit of what happened last year with Carmichael out in front, Pastrana in second, Vuillemin in third. They stayed in a group like this, not quite this close, but see Reed stealing the glance again, make sure he can go wide. Nobody could gain or lose anything. It just stayed like that the whole race. This is a lot closer. When they get the laps start wind down and people start making their moves, lap riders come into play, it's going to get good. And they've dropped fourth place. Fonseca. Ferry moved around, a mistake by Vuillemin, so Vuillemin dropping back a bit.
But your leader continues to be Chad Reed. We draw back. There's Ernesto Fonseca, number 24, right behind him. That is Tim Ferry on the Team Yamaha ride. A little bit under the weather this week, battling a cold. Now he's battling Ernesto Fonseca, and right behind him is David Vuillemin.
Carmichael going down.
So Ricky Carmichael goes down. He will lose third and fourth, so he goes back all the way to sixth place. So Ernesto Fonseca now moves into third, Tim Ferry in fourth, David Vuillemin in fifth, and Ricky Carmichael drops back to sixth.
Carmichael just in the air going into the corner. Right behind Reed, Lusk, and then Carmichael washing out. Lost the front end again. This is the corner before he lost the front end in the heat race. So having a tough time getting that front end to stick tonight.
And we'll be back with more of the 250 main after this short break. Welcome back inside Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona, as the 250 main rages on. So your standings right now as we look at our leader, Ricky Carmichael right there, number 4, working on number 12, David Vuillemin. Normally this is what we see for the battle for first place. Both these gentlemen are back in the pack. Ricky currently sitting in 6th, David Vuillemin sitting in 5th, and your leader is Chad Reed. Right now, let's check in with Cameron Steele. He's standing by with Chad Watts, the man who tunes for Ricky Carmichael, and what I'm hearing Chad Watts is not too happy.
Chad, do you have the speed to catch up to Chad after the mistake?
Too far gone. I mean, those guys, Ricky lost about 20 seconds when he fell over, so those guys are running about the same pace, so it's not going to happen unless one of them falls.
Is it nerves? What's happening with Ricky?
I don't know, just a little off right now, and I mean, the same thing as last year, so recover. I mean, it's only the second race, there's 14 more to go.
You don't seem too worried about it.
Pissed off, but not worried.
And thank you, Cameron.
Well, it's like you said, Todd, we thought we were going to look at this battle a lot further up front. Still, great to watch the battle. It could be these guys, and of course we got to count Reed and Fonseca going down, so these guys getting another break. It's the same corner where Vuillemin went off the track. Just in the end of the whoops. It's so tough to get stopped for that right-hander, and immediately out of that you've got a huge triple to clear. A really technical section there starting to bite these guys.
Fortunately for Ernesto Fonseca, the bike keeps going, and look at that. Ricky Carmichael's got the pass done, so we were watching Fonseca get his bike up and running again. Ricky Carmichael made the pass, but Carmichael had quickly reestablished himself with the leader, and a shot at the podium awaits him if he can get past Tim Ferry, who sits in third.
Behind these guys, Tortelli starting to pick up the pace a little bit. That last lap, Tortelli just a tiny bit faster than Vuillemin and Ricky.
Chad Reed continues to crank out sub 52nd lap. His last lap was 51.8. That is going to make it very difficult for Ricky to track him down.
I don't see any way these guys are going to get that far up through the field. Oh, Ricky, another little mistake. These guys are pushing so hard.
Well, he can see Tim Ferry. Tim Ferry's only about 40 yards ahead of him, so Ricky, I think, is trying to salvage this weekend, make sure he's on the podium so Chad Reed doesn't get too many more points.
Watch Ricky again. He comes around the mechanics area, hits that little nub on the inside right there, jumps up into the berm. Great save. This balance and strength gets him out of so many little problems like that. You have to push that hard to go this. He wants to win. He's still not ruling out the possibility of winning. I might be up here saying I don't think they can catch that guy, but Ricky doesn't feel that way.
Well, this is a long race, 20 laps. We've got 8 laps still to go, so Ricky knows the bad luck could befall Chad Reed, number 22. But right now, as he picks off laps wider, there he gets to do a little bit of a tangle on the backside. But Chad Reed looking good, very fast. Ezra Lusk still in contact with him, and Reed has the problem. As we go back to the front, Ezra Lusk comes in, unable to get the pass done, but they are neck and neck right now. Chad Reed and Ezra Lusk still much more of the 250 main when we return to Phoenix, Arizona after this short break. Welcome back to Phoenix, Arizona, in the 250 main, which is underway. Well, with 5 laps to go, you got to think in the mind of number 22, Chad Reed. He wins tonight. If this holds up, he goes back to Anaheim where he had a great run. He's got to feel pretty good about the score this week.
Yeah, you can say that again. And Ezra's fought his way back into a battle. He's got some respect from everyone now, and a little bit from Chad.
Tim Ferry doing a great job, currently sitting in 3rd place, battling the pole all week, comes out here and is racing tremendous, moving on to 3rd.
He's losing time, though. Ricky is starting to inch up.
Let's take a look at our Honda stopwatch. There you see the leader, Chad Reed, out in front. Ezra Lusk, though, right behind him. This is an amazing race. It's pretty much been since lap number 1, and we're 15 laps into this thing.
Well, if you're a lap rider in the middle of Chad and Ezra coming by, you really get to see some speed. These guys are the only ones able to get down into the 51. Reed edging Ezra for the fastest lap of the race by a 1/10 of a second, 51.5.
Chad Reed just about to pick off Damon Huffman. Huffman will have to yield. Here goes Ricky Carmichael making a run as we jump back. Tim Ferry made a slight bobble, and that's where Ricky Carmichael just pounced on this opportunity.
Just a moment ago, as he approached the triple, Carmichael just standing it on the nose. He's riding as hard as he can go to try to get up. And he looks to his right as he approaches this corner. Ezra back up front and over the finish line jump. Block passes Chad Reed. So Ezra is not kidding around here.
And then Chad Reed has a problem right there. He kept it a little too tight. I think he's a little frustrated. Maybe he didn't know Ezra was still back there on his heel. Unbelievable. Ezra Lusk is your leader. Chad Reed now trying to take back what he thinks is rightfully hit. And look at that. Smart righty. Ezra Lusk slows down the line, takes a look over his left shoulder. He knows what's coming.
Boy, this is something.
Can you imagine this holds up?
Their pace is incredible. And I can't remember a race. It's been a long time since he had a battle last this long. This is a look at the move. Chad just going, where did that come from? Ezra, so sneaky. Little glance over to his left, make sure Chad wasn't going to come back on him. But remember, in the heat race, it was Ezra that put that physical pass for the win. Chad's in position to do the same thing back to Ezra for the way to the main.
Well, with just 3 laps to go, Chad Reed continues to have a problem on that corner. He's cutting in a little too close. That gives Ezra Lusk a little breathing room for the time being. But as the lap times come down, Ezra Lusk is just trying to maintain. Here comes Chad Reed trying to set up something on the outside, making Ezra think. Our leader in the 250 main, Ezra Lusk, number 11, out of Bainbridge, Georgia, on the Team Kawasaki. In second place, Chad Reed, number 22, on the Yamaha, and they have been battling for the better part of 16 laps. Ricky Carmichael has slid into fourth. Tim Ferry maintains third for the time being.
Look at the lead. Ezra opening it up a little bit. Just 1 lap ago, making the move to lead right there in that corner. He'll be getting the white flag. I believe the next time around, he's got a little gap now on Chad. I question the fitness of Ezra. I think that's been answered.
Ezra Lusk, you saw him in the pits earlier. He looked so calm, cool, the whole select package going. And he came out here and showed it in the heat race. Came right back and answered Chad Reed, and here he is in the main event, opening up a lead and doing something that Chad Reed probably hasn't done to him this year since the first race of the year where he had that collision in Geneva, Switzerland, being passed.
Well, Carmichael, for one, has got to be back there rooting for Ezra right now to set Chad back, not let him build too much confidence with a couple of wins in a row, plus the 3-point gap from first to second. 25 points for first, 22 for second. Ricky thinking the white flag is out. Ricky, Vuillemin, those guys going, good for Ezra. He's not in the points right now with a poor finish last week, but to set Chad back a few, to stop some of his confidence, is what those guys are hoping for. If they can't do it, they're rooting for Ezra, I guarantee it.
Ezra Lusk on the final lap here, the 250 main, opening up a bit of a lead now on Chad Reed. Can he hold it together? A half a lap to go. Chad Reed in second, Ezra Lusk in first, and this has been a tremendous race here in Phoenix, Arizona, Bank One Ballpark. As we leave here, we'll head to Anaheim again, and Chad Reed will certainly have revenge on his mind.
Great news for Ezra Lusk. His last win was in '99 at Indianapolis.
And here it is, the checkered flag for number 11, Ezra Lusk on the Team Kawasaki, picking up the victory here in Phoenix, Arizona. Chad Reed will have to settle for second, and no one will be happier than Ricky Carmichael. And a classy move by Chad Reed, goes over to shake the hand of Ezra Lusk. Ricky Carmichael making the last few turns. Carmichael unable to close the gap on Ferry, so he'll get fourth. Timmy Ferry, sick and all, gets third place. He'll be on the podium, but the happiest man in the Valley of the Sun right now is number 11, a good old boy from Georgia, Ezra Lusk. When we come back to Bank One Ballpark, final results and interviews, you're watching the 250 main event on ESPN. And scooters. To Bank One Ballpark in Phoenix, Arizona. What a great race we just witnessed in the 250 main. Let's take a look at our Honda final results. Your winner, Ezra Lusk, number 11 from Bainbridge, Georgia, on board the Kawasaki win, followed by Chad Reed, Tim Ferry, Ricky Carmichael, and David Vuillemin rounding out the top 5. Right now, let's send it down to Cameron Steele.
This one is certainly a pleasure to do. Your winner tonight, Ezra Yogi Lusk, a sentimental favorite, racing professionally for 11 years. He hasn't won a 250 main since 1999, and your wife is just about to give birth to your baby. This has got to mean so much to you.
You know, this is what I've been doing my whole life, but, you know, I don't think anything compares to what I'm about to go through here any day now with my wife. But I just got to thank Kawasaki. They just been the biggest supportive behind me, and the good Lord for keeping me safe out there in Pure Armor racewear, you know, Smith goggles. But it was an awesome race. I think the one little thing that made a difference tonight is me jumping almost all the way through those boots right there. I think that got me about 2 or 3 bike lengths on Chad this last 2 laps, and that was enough to where he couldn't stick a wheel in on me, and I'm just lucky I figured that out.
That goes right back to aggression. Yogi, tonight you looked like you had the fire, you wanted to win. We've seen it at Outdoor Nationals. We know you have the speed, looking great in practice. What have you changed recently to give you that little edge?
I think just my life. I think my wife, I'm having this baby here any day now, just kind of gets my attention off all the other pressures. You know, you come here and the race is easy compared to what we're going through at home. But you know, it's just awesome. I got a great home life. I got a great race team, and I've been worrying about myself lately. You know, what makes Ezra tick, and that's the only thing different, really.
Congratulations, Ezra. We'll see how it goes in Anaheim. Unbelievable, you guys. So many people stoked for this guy. A great race. Back up to you.
As we check our series standings right now, it is Chad Reed out in front with 47 points. Tim Ferry checked in at second. Ricky Carmichael is tied for second with Ferry. Then it's Ezra Lusk and David Vuillemin. Right now, let's send it back down to Cameron Steele.
Well, the man who ended up second place had a great start and a great run. You led lots of laps. What happened out there, Chad?